Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this Planning Committee meeting on Thursday, the 23rd of April. As Councillor Vanessa Bell, I am the chairperson of this committee. Members, we are streaming this meeting live as well as recording, and by being present in the meeting, you are giving your consent to being recorded. During each item, please put your hand up to indicate if you wish to speak. I will invite you in your conference time. We don't have microphones, so I think it works on its own without without us having to turn microphones on and off. But please reference the page or paragraph number on referring to your blended papers and keep your contributions to the Two apologies for absence. Sean, have you got Councillor Fitter?
Yep, we have apologies from Councillor Passenger, Fitter and Bound. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Item 3 minutes. Recommended the minutes of the meeting held on the 10th of April 2024, found on pages 5 to 12, are approved as a true and accurate record. I so moved. Do I have a second? Thank you. Anyone finish us in there?
No, I just want to raise a point.
Oh, you like? No.
Well, in the best interest of the council, we changed it. Well, we added we amended the condition off the top of my head. I think it probably would be condition number 1, which is the commencement date, which has been recorded in the minutes, which is fine, and it's been recorded as a condition. But I was surprised to see, bearing in mind that it was an amendment, his name and the person second it wasn't included in the minutes. Now, in this particular instance, I sort of think, well, anyone the applicant or the I better sorry. I'm trying to emulate the skills of Councillor Brown. I'm trying to get my phone. I'm failing miserably. Anyway, but this was the application for the conflict on here further. I mean, I would have thought if we changed a condition like that, and someone appealed against the condition, and it hadn't been reported, so I just thought I'd mention that. And I can't remember that it was Councillor Sam or myself. No, but I think if we do change conditions, from the government's point of view, it should be properly first and second. It is recorded.
I think that's a very good idea.
Well, I'm not sure I'm right, but I'm pretty sure that it is the right procedure.
It doesn't hurt, does it? So thank you for raising that. Otherwise, we happy to do the minutes 5 cents? Agreed. Thank you very much. Item 4, declarations of interest to disclose the existence and nature of disclosure of pecuniary interests, the register of interests and non-register of interests to parties of and regards paragraph 9 and B and conduct of members. Any declarations of interest to members? No, and just the usual reminder that if any arise during the meeting, you display. Moving swiftly on then to item 5, 24003288/ADV, land west of 2 Maldon Road, Burnham-on-Crouch, and you can find us on page 13 to 4. Please note the members' update in relation to this application has been submitted. I will hand over to you on Friday when you're ready. Please present the results.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, members. This is an application for 2 advertisements, non-illuminated advertisements at Burnham. The application site, we've got the wider land outlined in blue, and the application site is at the access to the site of the road. Sorry, I'm going to use the keyboard. So this is the existing access to the site, and what they're proposing is 2 signs located on either side of the access way, set back about 10 metres from the road. Is an entrance to the site. Actually, I'll just come back to these small dots here what I refer to later as the entrance lines that are proposed to be removed as part of this application. So these are the location of the two signs. This is what they would look like. So a total height of 2 metres and a width of 4 metres. And they will be finished in Corton steel, which is the type. It's nicer than rusty. No, it's goes rusty, doesn't it? But it's thank you. Right. And these are just some other
Thick, rather than rusty, shall we say. Oxidized out wrap, thank you very much.
So this is just another elevation from the side and a section through side. And these are just some more elevations. This is the back of it and the other side. Visibility displays are shown on this plan here, and the Highway Authority had commented on it and raised no objection in terms of highway safety. That's important because bearing in mind that I think we can only consider 2 elements, 2 methods, one being public safety, and the other being amenity. So no objection in terms of highway safety. These are the 2 signs that I mentioned earlier that would be removed by way of condition 1. So I thank members might last year where advert consent was granted. And these are just some photos of what the entrance looks like at the moment. So that's one of their signs that will be removed with the new advertisement placed in front of it. And looking over the other side, site entrance, it's the same thing.
I just think that looks quite close. You said it's 10 metres away
from the highway edge, which is
here. So not from home. No.
So this is within the access. So this it's 10 metres is from the highway boundary, which is over here.
Okay.
So this is standing up. Well, this is the reflector. So just a view into the site, and then a view looking the other way. Summary recommendation. Summary recommendation. As you were saying, we had an application, a similar application earlier this year for the two adverts where they were illuminated, and that application was refused. The only reason for refusal being the illumination. So now that they've removed the illumination, and apologies, the application wasn't very clear. They have since changed that and removed it. To non-illuminated. Bearing in mind that that's the only reason for refusal now before through. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brantley. So, members, over to you, Councillor Clark. I'm going to go to you first.
Madam Chair, I'm inviting you. There's 2 more members here. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. The reason I called it in was that originally it said it was illuminated. There's been great confusion. The people have actually written in to object to it. Has every one of them referred to the illumination? And I think that has what has caused some confusion. But on saying that, I have still got some issues about this, and I want to go back to, I think Councillor Pratt will remember this. Do you remember when Corinthian Mews was being discussed? Do you remember Councillor Helen Elliott? And they wanted to put the entrance post. Do you remember the bollard, I think, what they call pillars to the entrance of Corinthian? What's it name? And Councillor Helen Elliott turned around and she said something like, "Why are we having to have these she didn't agree with them, posts to advertise or to say you are now entering it looks like a gated community. And we were very concerned at the time, because this is years ago, a few years ago, and we said what it actually does is it makes it look so it's a barrier rather than inclusive development. It looks as though you're actually going into a gated area. And that actually concerns me slightly. I know this is a little bit different, but I do think we have to be careful that we are trying to be inclusive and setting things aside, like this massive advertisement, and it is massive. 2 metres, I think, is high. This steel, it's called cadence steel, and I was really pleased when we discussed about the oxidisation, because I read it on cadence steel. Yes, they class it as being environmentally friendly because you can recycle it. But also, one of the downsides of it is, and I did read up on this, is because it rains, you get runoff of dirty, rusty water. I know, and you forgive yourself for saying the word rusty. It is rusty when it runs off. And also, one of the other downsides of this, and before Councillor Fluker jumps in and says Councillor Stanford's not planning, I think we should deserve to bear this properly, is that it conducts heat. And if you're talking about putting a planter in front of it, I'd just say caution for the developer, because it will reflect on it and it causes, I read it, Google it, Councillor Fluker. It can cause issues. So anyway, residents, I'm going to go to the residents, and I share some of the residents' concerns. I do think it is, I'll use that. Furthermore, the lack of demonstrated need for such a signage in this rural location, coupled with its potential adverse effects on the visual amenity, I won't use the word public safety because it's not, reinforces the basis of the injunction. And I agree with it. I think it's too big. I think that site's got so much advertising on it. I know, okay, they're taking 2 of them down. I think it is incongruous to the area, and I don't think it's actually doing us any favours. And for that reason, I actually won't support it. I don't support it. It's too big. It doesn't fit in with the amenity in the space and the rural area. So no,
Before I come to you, Councillor Flick, I just want to check Councillor Norton as the other ward councillor.
Well, I agree with everything that said. I mean, and often people that have spoken to me about it are very, very worried. I'm worried because it seems to me that if you put a lot of money in your building the whole other thing, housing and whatever, it doesn't matter, you get away with it. I'm really quite upset about it, and I think it's far too far.
Thank you, Councillor Norton. Councillor Flick.
Thank you, Chairman. Look, some of the most avant-garde buildings in the city of London, around the edges of it, are actually based with quartine steel. We're working on it. I assure you that there's no resistance of it. I hear what you're saying about it generates heat and heat reflection. I'm sure that the developer bear that in mind when they consider their plants, and I'm sure Mr. Rose is listening to what I'm going to say. So, based on what you said, I'll suggest you plant some type or supplements or something like that. But I think, we keep talking, this is not an advertisement. This is not an application for an advertisement. It says quite clearly on the front page of the application, but entrance signs. This isn't an advertisement, this is entrance signs. And I think, I know there's a lot of passion and feeling about this. It's been approved now, parts of it have been approved. And I think these 2 signs, when I first made this application, I thought, I wonder what these look like. But architecturally, I think they make a statement. I don't buy into thinking that it creates some kind of exclusivity. The entrance road is so wide. And I sort of understand the thing about pillars. The pillars lend themselves to design more to the design of the properties there. Whereas here you've got some very avant-garde buildings. It's not visible from the road. I don't see how it can affect being in Congress for the development of the countryside, because right behind you you've got, I've lost count now, 300 houses, 400 houses. This is an entrance statement. Same as I've got a scene outside my house, so everybody can find it. It's all scalable, and I cannot see any planning reason to turn this application down. I think officers have got it right. Most of the comments that have been made by the public that's to do with the fact that the signs are illuminated, which has been made clear it's not. So, Chairman, I would, but before I do, I'd also say that the town council hasn't responded to
They
this.
have actually.
Well, then I'm afraid that should be in the officer's update, and it's not. So we can only deal with the information that's in front of it. And there's nothing in the report to say they have. So regardless of that, Chairman, I think that the officers looked at this from a perspective, and I propose that we agree the officer's recommendation.
Before that's seconded, can we have clarity from Mr Lawrence about the actual proposal for the application fees?
Yes, it is actually, is classed as advertisement, even signs or buildings, even if they're advertising the size of the actual name of the building, over a certain size, they do require advertisement consent.
But, Chairman, if you allow me to come back, I accept that.
Yes.
But what I actually said was that the proposal is to erect two non-illuminated entrance signs. I appreciate that it falls within the remit of advertising. This is principally these signs, avant-garde design. You know, we've seen the alternative ones there, which look pretty ghastly. And they're actually going to put something there, which I think architecturally is correct. I think it will last a long time because it's called 10. Anyway, Chairman, I've made a proposal, and I think it's only fair, based on what I said and what Councillor Stam said, that the officers confirm whether or not Burnham Town Council did respond. I can't find it in the report.
I'm quite concerned about that because I thought it had been to Burnham Council. And I
It's on the website before I came out.
council that time.
Chairman, can we just go back to, I'll take on board it's avant-garde and it maybe looks nice in London. We live in Burnham-on-Crouch. We're in the middle of the countryside, we're rural. So yeah, I take on board, and Councillor Fluke is entitled to his opinion, the same as what I am the residents who write into it. So I take on board what he said, but we're not in London. We are in Burnham-on-Crouch.
And I would add, the buildings, yes, but they're also very heavily wood fronts. Which is
Chairman,
the Essex vernacular, no, Councillor Fluker, which is the Essex vernacular. So why don't we look at something that flows and follows that and is more appropriate in a rural setting?
Thank you. Chairman, I don't know if members visited the site, but if they had, then they would have seen that the south-facing bungalows at the entrance are actually, they've got these sort of apex roofs, they're fully glazed, and they are dressed in stock to act as a shade. So I can see where the architect's leaning to. So you're not introducing some kind of material that's not used elsewhere on the site. Personally, I don't think you would see anything like that in London. I think you probably get something much broader, much grander, and probably made of stainless steel, which I think would be any congruous for.
At the end of the day, it's a matter of, individual taste, I think, isn't it, really? And I think it's going to come down to So that, Councillor Fluke, yes to you.
Only just a quick question, obviously, of the advertising board, is this a permanent advertising board forever and ever? So, to me, it's an entrance sign, but then it's advertising.
I think if you look at conditions, it said for the 5 years or something, it has to start for the 5 years. Does it go for the length of the whole of the?
It is a condition that put on all advert planning consents, or all advert consents, I should say, but we apply the same to shops. Any business wants sign, and those signs are approved after 5 years.
Right.
That's it. All signs are subject to it's a condition that is never had before.
Right, okay, that's
I think that's where I'm coming from. Obviously, we know that's going to be there forever. So whatever we do now, it's going to be there. And it will be the entrance gate to that property, property. There's properties now, and it will always be there. So we've got to make sure we get it right.
Look at the like
Yeah. Hello, that's the main problem.
They did, didn't they?
I just really want to comment that I think it actually looks quite a nice attractive design. I like the plant that, I think it's really nice.
Anyone else like to?
Yeah,
Go for it, yes.
I'm happy to sort of second the proposal that you have said. I think if the material is certainly in keeping with bungalows that are behind it, I don't think it's considering the size of the development, you need a statement at the entrance. I am surprised that the officer is saying we don't have to enforce conditions. I am shocked.
All adverts are subject to that, but I've never known that condition be enforced against.
That's like an anomaly.
It is.
And the system.
That's the advert. Yes.
Well, I think that's a reflection on our planning efficiency, or our planning department's efficiency.
No,
And I'm surprised that we have to bother to put a condition in that we have no intention of enforcing. Surely that, in
the
essence,
standard condition is that it enforces the environment regulation. It's not something we put on. It's embodied into the environment regulations.
but yes, I'm quite happy to support this.
All right, so thank you.
It's gone around the room,
I think we should go to the vote now. So, councillor Flynn has proposed, second by councillor. We accept the officer's recommendation to approve. All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4. All those against? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to explain. Second chairs is passed, so the officer's recommendation to approve. Thank you very much. Item 6, any other items of business that chairperson described urgent, I have none. So members, thank you for your contributions this evening. I'm draw the meeting to a close. 19.2.